With the death of Count Dooku at the hands of Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker, all that remained for the Jedi and the Republic was to find and kill both Grievous and the mysterious Sith Lord, to end the suffering caused by the Clone War. But for Anakin, the situation was complicated by the upcoming birth of his children, and the fear that Padme would die in childbirth. Tensions continued to rise between the Jedi Council and the Jedi Knight, leaving the only person he could turn to for guidance to be Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. Recounting the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, and how the Sith Lord had manipulated midichlorians to create life, Anakin's conflict made him extremely vulnerable, and with Obi-Wan on Utapau to fight Grievous, Palpatine used this moment to declare that he was the Sith Lord. The years he spent trying to appease Anakin had narrowed down to one moment, and the Jedi Knight chose not to kill him, but instead went back to the Jedi Temple and informed the highest ranked Jedi present, who was Mace Windu, somebody who had loathed Anakin from the first day he had set foot in the Jedi Temple. But what if Anakin had told Obi-Wan about Palpatine instead? Could Obi-Wan stop his padawan before he fell to the dark side? As you're going to realise, the change of masters will alter the course of history. In the Chancellor's office, Anakin lowered his blade, scarcely believing what he had just heard from Palpatine. The weight of the galaxy was upon his shoulders, and his next steps could alter the complexion of the Jedi and the Republic for many generations. But his first move was to leave the office and get away from the darkness that was clouding him. Taking a journey into his starfighter, the Jedi Knight flew in between Coruscant skyscrapers and traffic, reveling in the freedom, and he began to think more clearly. Anakin had initially wanted to go to Master Windu, but he knew that he would be made to wait at the temple, and the opportunity to save Padme would be lost forever. Anakin next thought about discussing with Ahsoka, but not only was she busy apprehending Maul, Anakin also did not want to burden her with such a difficult decision. As the solution dawned upon him, Anakin dived in between two civilian speeders and turned back to the temple hangar, where he slid haphazardly into several other ships before running to the communications room. Activating the large holotable in the centre of the room, he was not surprised to find Commander Cody at the receiving end of his signal, and the loyal clone commander informed Anakin that Obi-Wan was on his way, having just killed General Grievous, and the Jedi Master looked exhausted. Nevertheless, Obi-Wan could see Anakin as pale as a ghost, as he heard that Palpatine was the Sith Lord. The Jedi Master was not surprised, as Mace Windu had revealed his suspicions in their previous discussions with Yoda, but their worst fears had been realised. Obi-Wan could sense something more from Anakin, and suggesting that his Padawan thought Padme was in danger, Anakin could merely nod, so following a brief pause, he asked Anakin to be patient, whilst he returned to Coruscant. The Jedi Knight watched the figure of his master disappear, and used force speed to run past all of the Jedi, until he is stopped by Mace Windu in the temple's hangar. The Master of the Order had been convinced by Obi-Wan that they needed to be patient, and gathering as many Jedi Council members as possible, Obi-Wan finally arrived from Utapau. Yoda knew that arresting Palpatine, before they could investigate his connections and other operations, could lead to anarchy for the future of the Republic, and the Jedi's reputation would be shattered. At that moment, the Council received an incoming transmission from Mandalore and their former Padawan Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka revealed what Maul had told her about the Sith Lord's plan for Palpatine, and the Jedi planned for Anakin to move away from Palpatine before he could become the new Sith apprentice. Anakin looked enraged at the Jedi for cutting off his path to saving Padme, but Obi-Wan calmly escorted him to one side and promised him access to the extensive knowledge of the Jedi archives, even though he was not a master. Anakin is somewhat reassured when Rex intervened Ahsoka's transmission and revealed a data log he had found involving Nala Se and Fives, then told the Council about his suspicions about the control chips. Yoda looked thoughtfully at the battle around him on Kashyyyk and dispatched Shakti and Anakin to find and capture the Kaminoans for evidence against Palpatine. The Jedi Knight cannot bear the thought of being away from Padme for any more amount of time, but rather cleverly, he decided to take Padme's Naboo starsskiff, allowing the Senator to be aboard with C-3PO and R2-D2. With the departure of the two council members, the Jedi next needed to capture the Separatists, who had hidden their location from the Republic until Commander Cody's search on Utapau. From a previously logged transmission, the 212th Battalion discovered that they were being taken to a secret base on the planet of Mustafar, and Kir Fisto and Sazy Tin had deployed to find them. But as the Jedi appeared to be regaining the upper hand, the voice of Palpatine echoed through the galactic city, ordering for all of the senators to gather in the arena for what he called an emergency meeting. In the private residence of Senator Bail Organa of Alderaan, the senator and his allied politicians knew that this move by Palpatine was a trap to force the galaxy to support his new regime. Immediately asking for the council to help them, Obi-Wan and Mace Windu leave the temple to the other council members, whilst they disguise themselves as Bail Organa's guards on the short journey to the Senate building. Organa guides them through a little known side entrance and intercepts the other senators before they could enter into their individual pods. The Jedi then use mind tricks to divert the senators away from the building, ensuring that nobody would be coerced into supporting the new regime. The plan proceeds as the Jedi had foreseen, until the real Senate guards began to turn back from their post at the entrance, and are surprised by the lack of commotion. Palpatine is enraged upon being notified of their betrayal, and declared to the whole city that they would pay for their abandonment of his new galactic empire, but in his mind, he knew he would have to wait for Anakin. The Jedi Knight was a considerable distance away from Palpatine, planning on capturing the Kaminoans with Shakti, and soon they arrived through the dark and gloomy clouds to the destination. With their trust in the clones shaken, the Jedi quietly enter the facility, but still gravely concerned about the life of Padme. Anakin quickly rushed through the facility, setting off all of the security alarms. The Kaminoan security force start to run through the corridors, pointing their weapons around every turn, but the Jedi were too fast and breached the defences to enter Nala Se's laboratory. Aiming their lightsabers at the Kaminoans, the scientists protested their innocence, claiming that they were merely carrying out orders for the Republic. But Anakin's patience had run out as he lifted both Nala Se and Lama Su by their throats, then slammed them into the walls. As their lives started to dwindle, Master T diverted Anakin from his attacks to look at their data log, and previous transmissions showed that the Kaminoans had been collaborating with Dooku to ensure the real meaning of the clones was guarded from the Jedi. With the mystery of their army exposed, the Jedi needed to eliminate or overthrow Palpatine before he could use the clones to eliminate them all, but as a precaution, Master T ordered for all of the clone commanders to remove their control chips. Dragging the Kaminoans into their ship, Anakin could sense the great danger that had been occupying his mind, and he rushed over to find Padme in pain. Without Palpatine or the knowledge of the Jedi archives, the Jedi Knight carried the senator back inside and to one of the medical bays, where the droids helped Padme to give birth to Luke and Leia. Anakin was distraught with concern that Padme would soon be dead, but the medical droids assured him that Padme was alive, and he realised that his nightmares and the promises of Palpatine had all been a lie. If the dark side had previously been simmering within Anakin, it was now an inferno, and swiftly leaving the hovering platform, the Jedi Council members soon received the news. The Master Fisto and Master Tin had successfully apprehended the Separatists at their hidden base on Mustafar, and now the Jedi would gather to make their move against Palpatine. Just as the two groups of Jedi converged above Coruscant's atmosphere, they see the Venator-class Star Destroyer Ahsoka arriving from Mandalore move ahead of them, when it is suspended in mid-air by an attack from below. Anakin roared out in anger at the potential demise of his Padawan, but he could still sense her presence from a neighbouring ship, and decided to dive down through the clouds at full speed. Anakin could see the hooded Palpatine resisting his attempted attack, so he opened the ramp and leapt down to the ground, creating a seismic wave in all directions. The Jedi Knight had lost track of the Sith Lord, but before he could chase after him, all of the council members summoned to the council tower by the arriving Grandmaster Yoda. Together they decided to secretly ask the senators to motion for a vote of no confidence in order to get rid of Palpatine in the event their attack failed, when they felt a pain in the Force. Across from their elevated position, the Naboo starskiff that Anakin and Shakti had used had just been squashed, and Anakin sensed the pain from Padme, Luke and Leia. There was no time to waste with their lives in the balance, and breaking the windows of the room, he made one giant leap to save them. Anakin used the Force to project himself further, and felt himself moving away from the temple's foundations as he homed in on the ruined Naboo starskiff. Coruscant's rescue operatives were working on putting out the fire, but Anakin's presence shook them from the ground as he marched to the wreckage and lifted pieces away into the levels below. The Jedi Knight immediately summons clone medics to the scene as the other Jedi arrived to investigate the cause of the explosion. Their immediate suspicions point to Palpatine, and deciding that now was the perfect time to move for a capture, they barge into his office and search through the ornate rooms to look for him. With no trace of the Sith, they all converge on his desk and find a recent transmission to the bounty hunter Cad Bane, asking for Senator Amidala to be eliminated, as he knew that it would anger Anakin. Turning to face the Jedi Knight, he accepted the incoming transmission from the ground below, and it was from one of the clone troopers, stating that the children were nowhere to be found. Palpatine had hidden the location of the powerful Force sensitives in his conversation with Bane, so the Jedi ran to the Grand Republic medical facility to see if the recovering Padme knew anything of their location. Despite being wounded, the Senator is as angry as Anakin and demands for the Jedi to spread their forces to find her missing children. The Jedi have no hints to work from until the ship of Ahsoka arrives through the atmosphere, having finally breached the seemingly invisible barrier created by Palpatine. The captured Maul is moved from his cage and placed in front of the Jedi in the Republic military base, where they begin to interrogate the Zabrak for possible clues. Maul cackled at the Jedi for their continued inability to remain a step behind his old master, and he ominously muttered that Sidious was about to sink the galaxy into darkness. The Jedi looked at each other in terror as the Sith Lord had left to expose Luke and Leia to the dark side, and they divided themselves for a galaxy-wide search. With the Senators voting out Palpatine as the Supreme Chancellor, the clones were free from their control, and they were able to join the Jedi. Anakin, Obi-Wan and Ahsoka are tasked with going to Dathomir, where they heard that the Sith had completed a massacre over the clan, and when they descended through the red mist, the stench of darkness could be felt through the entire crew. The three Jedi assigned a small division of clone troopers to speed up their pursuit, when Anakin heard a scream from the ruins of the old Night Sister lair. The Jedi Knight leapt above the murky swamps to the centre circle, and found the twins being placed on a stone slab, where Sidious was above them, performing an ancient Sith ritual with the cauldron beside him. Dragging Luke and Leia away from the grip of the Sith, Anakin is met by a glare from Palpatine with immense hatred, and used the cauldron to fire a wave of Sith magic at the Jedi. Blocking the attack with his lightsaber, he gave his children to Commander Rex, before he branded Palpatine to be a traitor. The Sith Lord looked amusingly at Anakin, remarking that the Jedi would soon be viewed as the traitors, as he executed Order 66. The silence on the battlefield was what the Jedi wanted to hear, as those on Coruscant had successfully foiled one of Palpatine's plans, so the Sith was forced to use his lightsaber. With his spare blade in his other hand, he furiously attacked Anakin, branding him a shadow of what he could have been under his own training, but the Jedi refused to fall for the manipulation of the Sith again, and with one ferocious slash, the Sith's eyes looked down at his slowly decaying body. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka had arrived to witness Sidious disappear, with his body sinking beneath the waters, before they informed the other council members that the Sith had fallen. Returning to Coruscant, the Kaminoans and Separatists are placed in front of a reform tribunal, and are sentenced for their crimes, whilst the Jedi had recovered some of their reputation that they had lost during the Clone War. Mace Windu resigned from his position on the council after showing displeasure at the reforms to the Jedi Code, and Anakin is finally made a Jedi Master. That is it for What If Anakin told Obi-Wan about Palpatine. If you enjoyed this What If, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.